Welcome, everyone. So, today we're talking about optimizing your workflow. And everyone's workflow in every organization is really completely different. Some people, by the way, they use Canva, which Canva is great. I actually went to school for design and I find myself using Canva more than I do Adobe. But to my designers out there, Adobe still is amazing. But yeah, some people are creating content outside of the Reach platform, which is totally fine, right? Whatever works for you. But some people might use our system to create content as well. So when we talk about optimizing our workflow, right, that means like how efficient can we make it where you're not in the system every day, you're in a position where you can just easily add it, schedule it, and essentially be done with it, right? So what I'm showing you guys here is our playlist management. And you can see on the left side here, there's two applications. It says asset management, but we have playlist and media library. The best way to kind of distinguish like what does each of these two applications do is anything that you upload into our system, right? PowerPoints, JPEGs, videos, it does get added to the playlist, yes, but it also gets stored in the media library. So at any point, which is kind of great that it gets added there because sometimes you might like use what I call like recycled content. I think of like holidays or if you do like weekly announcements, you might just want to, again, kind of quickly add them. And then after like 4 or 5 months, you might want to go back and kind of like replay them. That's kind of the purpose of that media library. But essentially everything starts in the workflow. So again, depending on your organization, some of you might just be managing one playlist. Some of you might be managing multiple playlists. And when we think of add content, again, it kind of depends if you're asking yourself, like, okay, am I going to go schedule this content? Like, is it time sensitive? Or am I in a position where I'm just going to add it and in a week, I'll just kind of come back and remove it, right? Those are the kind of two things you want to think of as you're sort of scheduling in our platform. So as I said right before, it kind of depends. Some people, they have one playlist, sometimes they have multiple. There's two ways to add content. The first way, which I'm going to show you, is you can simply stay on what we call this landing page. This landing page essentially tells you all the playlists you have created, what facility the playlists are assigned to, how many are active, the total duration of the playlist, and when was it last modified. What I can do is simply select the checkbox, or again, if I have this asset, I use Canva, I created it, and I want to push it to multiple playlists. You can see that I'm doing 2 clicks now. But here are these two options when we talk about that content, right? We have that schedule workflow where it's like, okay, this is time sensitive. Like I need to put an end date on it, or I really want it to start, not until 2 weeks from now. That's where you're going to utilize the schedule content button. And you have a couple options, right? You have the media file, which means, again, going back to my recycled content story, maybe you uploaded it 6 months ago. Maybe it's like trivia that you've been creating or life hacks, and you just kind of want to reuse them. You can retrieve it from the media library. If it's a video URL, maybe it's like a YouTube link or like a Vimeo, you can simply do that. Or again, you can physically upload it right here. So my Canva users, right, love Canva, of course. If you have JPEG, PNG files, you can simply upload them right here. I don't have one on me right now, but I'll show you the schedule in just a sec, you guys. The only call out in here is that you cannot upload video files. That is the only thing. You can only do JPEG and PNG in this workflow, and we're kind of calling it out right here. Let me grab something from my media file just so I can show you what that schedule looks like. So again, we can add one asset, we can add multiple assets. So I'll just kind of select these first two here, or I guess the second and third one, I hit continue. This is what the schedule looks like, all right? So again, it's telling me that I've selected these two playlists. At any point in this like UI, if I was like, crap, I don't want to send it to the corporate, I can just eliminate it. But here's where I can sort of add the start date, the end date. When do I want it to run? Do I want it to be essentially full screen, right? Meaning that it's going to take over the full screen. And then how long do I want it to run for? Now the system, by the way, if it's a video, we know how long the video it is. So you actually don't even have to mess with the duration. I'm not going to publish this, by the way, but essentially you would hit confirm. The other sort of workflow type is really just like, it's like a quick add. You know what I mean? You just literally get it into the playlist and it's up to you then to kind of come back and remove it. Going back to our upload files, right? I've created it in Adobe. I've created it in Canva. I just want to basically upload a mass or bulk amount of assets. Again, I'm retrieving from my media library. Canva, you can actually create Canva in the Reach system. So I feel like every time I talk to someone, it just kind of varies. Some people really like to start in Canva and then export it, but just know that you can also stay in the system and create it. Our design editor, by the way, this is our in-house design platform that allows you to create sort of those templates as well. And then again, your YouTube or your Vimeo. So that's kind of the different work, like the different path, right? Do I want to schedule it or do I just want to kind of do a quick ad? The other way, by the way, to add content is you can simply just click into one. And here's a list of all my assets that are running. And again, you can see I have the schedule in the ad. It's the exact same thing. So it just kind of depends if you're managing one, if you want to click in, if you want to do sort of a bulk sort of command. And then the only other thing too I'd like to just mention is we also have this remove expired items. So what that means is that not everyone's kind of different here, but some people, they're really good about removing their expired assets from their playlists. You don't have to do it, by the way. It's just a preference thing. I'm a little OCD, so I like to remove my expired assets. Some people just keep adding, totally fine. But the point is sometimes when you do not remove them, it can kind of clutter the playlist a little bit. And so what this does is that if you do have expired assets, it will just automatically remove those for you. That way you don't have to click into the playlist, find those expired assets. It's like, hey, let's just do this for you. We're just going to remove them in a bulk way. So that's the best way to optimize your workflow, is to really start in the playlist. Now, before I end this sort of tutorial, the only thing I'm just going to mention is that if you're in the media library, and again, let's go back to that recycled content, right? You're looking for maybe like this trivia or this joke that you had. Obviously, you can go and search it, but let's just say this was it. This is the one that you kind of want to like reuse. What's nice is when you select it, you can simply just push it to a playlist right here. So you don't necessarily have to like leave this application and kind of just go through what we talked about. You literally can just push it to a playlist from being in this application. Again, the only call out here is you're not scheduling it. So it's just like a quick ad. It's going to sort of inherit the default behavior where the asset's just going to run 24/7. But just kind of know that's another way to just kind of quickly add those assets to the playlist. If you have any questions about optimizing your workflow, please let me know. Otherwise, I hope you guys have a great day. Thank you.